Welcome to Take Two with Freddy. Real talk about second chances, real life, and the power of rewriting your story. I'm Freddy Freundlich, entrepreneur, mentor, and storyteller. And if I didn't walk it, I don't talk it. So what's on my mind today? Honestly, nothing. Or at least that's what I told my wife last night at dinner. It was just the two of us, a simple meal, nothing fancy. She looked at me and asked, "So what's on your mind?" I shrugged and said, "Nothing." She looked again. "No, really, what's going on?" And again, I said, "Nothing." We both knew that wasn't true, but we left it there. Later in the evening, it started to itch under my skin because the truth was there's no such thing as nothing on your mind. We're always thinking. It's part of being human. And even when we say we're not, even when we wish we weren't, we are. Most of us try to escape our thoughts. We sleep, we drink, we smoke, we scroll, we eat, anything to quiet the noise in our heads. But the thinking really never stops. So when I said nothing is on my mind, what I really meant was I was overwhelmed with thinking. Everything was on my mind. You ever have one of those moments where your brain is juggling about 12 different things at once? Your body's tired, your heart's full, and when someone asks you how you are, your mouth just says, "All good, I'm fine." But the truth is, inside, you're maxed out. Well, guys, we live in a world that's constantly bombarding us. And it doesn't even have to be bad stuff. It's just stuff. Emails and texts and group chats and news alerts and marketing, politics, then family politics, deadlines, and not to mention just health or business. And it just all stacks up. Even when nothing's wrong, we're still carrying around a ton of stuff in our heads. It's what I call mental clutter. And just like a room full of junk, it's hard to move around. Only in this case, it's in your head and it makes it hard to breathe. This morning, I had a few errands. Nothing heavy, just the bank and a couple of stops. But while walking through the streets, even though it wasn't the first time, something hit me. Everywhere I looked, people's heads were buried in their phones. Didn't matter the age. There were kids as young as 8, people in their 70s, all locked on their screen. Eyes were glazed, earbuds in, mouth slightly open, totally unaware of the world around them. One woman I know personally walked right past me, didn't even realize that it was me. And then it struck me, this isn't about technology. This is about addiction. Not addiction to content, that's a whole nother problem, but addiction to escape. We're not running from the world, we're running from ourselves, from our own thoughts. We really don't want to feel, we don't want to reflect, we don't even want to spend time quietly with ourselves. And believe me, I get it. Some days sitting quietly with oneself is like the scariest thing in the world. You know, society teaches us that we can't be alone. We always have to be doing something consistently, 24/7. Can you imagine that in this day and age, self help gurus are begging people to just find a few minutes of quiet? It used to be a given. Now we have to learn how to sit still. If you drop someone from the 1960s into any city street today with no knowledge of smartphones, They think we were in some kind of mind control experiment or a zombie movie. And maybe they wouldn't be wrong. Only difference is the zombies aren't after our brains. We're actually trying to escape from our own brains. We're overloaded, we're overstimulated, and deep down, we're really overwhelmed. Now, listen, I'm not above this. I still fall into the trap sometimes. The only difference is I'm more aware now. I notice when using my phone, and more importantly, when it's using me. So now when I walk, I try and be intentional. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast or music that feeds my soul. Other times I just tune into the birds, the flowers, the world around me. These walks, for me, they're for physical and emotional health. I call it killing two goats with one stone. Don't ask me why goats, it just feels more honest than birds. Just out of curiosity, I decided to look up some numbers. In 2023, in the US alone, the National Safety Council reported over 1.6 million car crashes caused by distracted drivers on their phones. Now, that's just in the US, and that's just behind the wheel. What about all the people walking into traffic, into poles, into each other? I don't know the official stats, but you don't need numbers. Just look around. We are tripping through life and we're totally disconnected. And we're missing it. We're really missing it because we're missing life because we're staring at a screen. And when we're looking at a screen, it's not even important stuff, not even meaningful stuff, many times not even real stuff. A few days ago, I walked past a popular fast food restaurant and I saw this young kid clearly struggling with his weight, stuffing a double burger into his face. Somehow he also managed to have fries in one hand and a giant soda in the other. His mom sat across the table doing the same. And both of them, besides eating, guess what? You got it, on their phones. Not talking, not connecting, not even being there. Now, look, I'm not here to shame anyone. We've all been there. But even if this has become normal, let's not pretend it's the way that life's supposed to be. We're sleepwalking through life and we're teaching these same habits to our kids. And that's why I'm talking to you. Because this podcast, Take Two, is about second chances. And to take a second chance, you got to start first by waking up. I'm going to be 65 on my next birthday. And honestly, I feel like I'm just getting started. But not too long ago, 65 meant one foot in the grave. It meant retirement, mandatory retirement. It meant winding down. But not anymore. We're living longer and we're living better. We have more opportunity, more tools, more access than any generation in history. But you know what? We appreciate it less. It seems the more we have, the less we value it. Most people listening to this podcast live in rich countries. Statistically speaking, you're in the top percent of global wealth. But here's the twist. We may be rich, but we're not necessarily wealthy. Being rich is about numbers, bank accounts, assets. But being wealthy, that's a feeling, That's presence. You can be rich and miserable, but you can't be miserable and still call yourself wealthy. For me, wealth comes down to three simple questions. One, am I generally happy? Two, am I generally content? And three, do I love my life even at times it's messy? If you can say yes to those, you're wealthy. And that's regardless of how much money you have in your account. Personally, I have to be honest with you. For most of my life, I chased more. But today I can tell you I'm wealthy. Not because I have everything, but because I feel blessed and I am blessed. Please don't get me wrong. I still love money. I'm always looking to earn more honestly, but regardless of how much more I have, it won't make me any wealthier because today I really love my life. And every day in every way, I feel more and more blessings are flowing to me and through me. So if your answer to those questions happen to be no, I don't care how many zeros you've got. You may be rich, but you're not wealthy. And that's why I want to share with you something that to me is pretty simple, a tool that helped me change my life. I know what I'm about to say may sound a little bit corny. It may sound like something your therapist recommends when they're out of ideas, but I promise you it works. It's called gratitude journaling. Now, it takes an investment of 10 minutes a day, a writing utensil, pen or pencil, or even a stylus, and a notebook, either an old fashioned notebook or any other kind of electronic notebook. I personally use a Kindle Scribe. But the key is it's pen to paper, old school. You have to be writing in your own hand, not typing, not thinking, but writing. Now, what this means is that every morning you need to find yourself a quiet space and write what you're grateful for. It can be silly or simple. You could write, I'm breathing, I had eggs, my dog wagged his tail. Doesn't matter as long as you're honest. Now, you need to do this every day for 30 days. No skipping, no excuses. And if by chance you miss a day, then you have to start all over from scratch. Now, I will say this, if you end up not doing it in the morning, you're still okay, even though it's always preferable to start your day with this. Also, you have to do it for that 10 minutes. If you need to set a timer, go ahead and do it. And if after 5 you have nothing else to put down, well, keep that pen in your hand and sit there for 10. Let it be uncomfortable. That's where the magic happens. That's your reset button. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys your life is going to be perfect, but I guarantee you it will change. And if you actually do it, you're going to be looking back and you're going to say, wow, this was the beginning of everything. You'll be more impressed with yourself that you imagine. And please tell me, I'd love to hear from you. I mentioned just now, I said, if you actually do it. And the reason I say that is because This is a very simple investment of your time and energy. It's logical, but the truth of the matter is most of you will not do it. Some of you might actually even start, but then you're going to quit. Very few of you will take the time and do it. I throw down the gauntlet to you. Just try it. What have you got to lose? It's a funny thing. If I went to pretty much any man on the street and they honestly took a moment to answer me, and I said, what do you want out of life? Unless somebody had some burning desire or burning pain at that moment that they were dealing with, their answer would revolve around money and or happiness. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy. And unfortunately, we believe that wealth or riches bring us that happiness. Again, I'm not here to tell you money can help. Money is great. And I wish you guys as much money as you want. But unless you have the wealth first, the money is totally irrelevant. So please take me up on this. We live in a noisy, distracted world. But underneath all the stuff, all the garbage, there's still you, just you. And if you really want that second chance, it's there for you, waiting to be reclaimed. It's waiting to happen. It's totally up to you. You don't need to move a mountaintop or wait until a New Year's resolutions or anything else. All I'm asking you to do is just pick up a pen and commit 10 minutes a day. We're talking about wealth, and all it takes to be truly wealthy is to notice what you already have and to begin with two simple words: thank you. If it were that easy, imagine what a world we live in, but it's not. So we have to work on ourselves. And this is something that's worked for me, and I really believe it's going to work for you. I want to tell you guys thank you. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Take Two with Freddy, where we're not chasing the perfect world. We're just chasing a better one for ourselves. If this spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it. Please like it, subscribe. And if you want more, please come back next week. I look forward to it. See you next time.